Freedom is the right of all sentient beings.
Broadcasting live from the basement of the Pentagon. This is WTF Nation Radio.
This is a public service announcement from C.T. Fletcher. I will not contribute to the pussification of a nation. Get your punk ass out there and work for it, motherfucker.
Let's roll.
Morning, Sergeant Major.
How do you know what kind of goddamn day it is?
Beautiful morning, Sergeant Major.
Are you a fucking weatherman now?
You're listening to Sergeant's Time on WTF Nation Radio.
On this 2 February 2023, in the year of the dumpster fire, I'm your host. Welcome to Sergeant's Time. Deep within the mountain complex or in the basement of the Pentagon, you don't know. I think we're in Area 51 today. That's right, Josiah. Let's get them freaking signing roster on there, y'all. Smoke them if you got them. You don't have to worry about taking a knee. Who cares? This is a different kind of formation. Put it on Reaver and do the intro. Which part? You're talking about the intro? Yeah, I mean, you know, funny you mentioned that because there was a couple of times where U.S. Army WTF Moments and WTF Nation Radio has offered the Army some consulting. Thanks. Some consulting there on how to, hey, maybe we could help you guys with the hype video. So that Sergeant's Time video, we put the word out. Hey, if you wanna get some of your stuff on Sergeant's Time, the new Sergeant's Time intro, then send us your stuff, and I'm more than happy to do it. So the public affairs and combat camera kids sent in some footage and stuff like that, and there you go. Every time we try to offer the Army, specifically when it comes to USAREC, the U.S. Army Training, U.S. Army Recruiting Command, any assistance and stuff like that, then there we go. What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? Hey, hey, what's up? Hey, real quick before we get into some stories, man. Y'all fucking tracking this balloon that's happening, right? Like floating over our fucking country right now in our airspace. Y'all see the news about that? Digging into the crates, that's what I'm talking about. Digging in the crates, Dave, that's right. You know, like we busted back in the day, you know what I'm saying? Spinning on the wheels of steel, yo. I know what's up. I'm down. Do you guys see this shit? Did you guys see in the news? We got some freaking some Chinese spy satellite that's flying a balloon over and around Montana. Now, didn't we just have a denial of up around the Montana area? They say it's about because we don't like measuring in metrics or meters or something like that, or we just say feet and whatever. So it's the size of 3 buses, and it has a technological array on it. I mean, let me hang on. Let me grab some pics here. Let me show you what it looks like. There you go. You see that? So it's a balloon just floating over Montana, just floating around. Can we shoot it down? I mean, they kind of like here's the thing. The government is fearing that debris will come down from the balloon. I'm about to say, bro. That's the way. I mean, since 9/11, we decided to, back we wanted to shoot everything down. NORAD getting pissed off. They can track Santa pretty good, but they're not telling the American people about this. Yeah, shoot her down. And here's another image of it. So I would say pew pew. I'm pretty sure if it came around to. Apparently, reporting it's been floating there for several days, and they've just been observing it. It's about 800,000 cheeseburgers AGL. Yeah, exactly. This is not I've seen Yellowstone. It's mostly empty space, right? That's what I'm saying. Just go ahead and grab that, fly over. There's a C-130, an MC-130 that's modified specifically. It's called the Fulton extraction system. It's got a hook in front of it, right? I want to just say that. Just do that. Grab them shits. Grab that balloon. China, you got a lot of fucking nerve, man. Floating a balloon. So balloon jokes and balloon memes have been happening, and it's Gary, it's the aliens. Yeah. Anytime. I'm just surprised that China had the balls to do it. They're probably, what's that meme with that growing up and slapping that kid in the back of the head? Yeah, exactly. Space Force, this is your first mission. That's how you do an infiltration. I mean, think about it. That array right there. That's the thing that gives me the heebie-jeebies is that array. It's like, what's that stuff? What is that? I'm thinking EMP stuff. See, I'm tinfoil like crazy. I'm wearing my Wolverine shirt today, so how fitting. It's very, to me, it's a little concerning to see that. Tell them why it does exactly that, right? Get that Fulton recovery system. I've always wanted to try it. I've always wanted to do the Fulton extraction. Never got a chance to do it. Basically what it is it's a balloon that goes up with a rope attached to it, and you're in a harness. And as that balloon goes up, it has the harness, and the C-130 with the little pincers flies over you, snaps that balloon, and you fly with it. I'm looking at thing as EMP. Someone else is saying that it's a flying Trojan horse and it's full of Wuhans. That's what I'm saying, bro. The fact that we're even entertaining a conversation saying we shouldn't shoot it down because it might hurt. Man, if it's the aliens that need to come down, it's BS down here. I don't know, man. I see this as an EMP potential. China's going to flip a switch and go, oh shit, they discovered it. It's a COVID balloon. Exactly that. I mean, if you look at the array, it looks like it's solar powered. Looks like it has all the doohickeys on there. Let's see what else is on there. So it's got a central node or some communications on there. That thing's been floating around for 3 days, 4 days or something like that, a few days. And everyone's just like, oh yeah, well, we're just observing it. Man. West Taiwan pulling some shit. So, tonight we have Steve Beynon, who he's going to come on here to shoot the shit about an article that he wrote, but we're also going to, on top of that, it's going to be like a dual, like a triple meaning. Yeah, exactly. Start looking for it in the sky. I did too. I was like, where the hell is it at? So tonight we're going to talk about the parental leave guidance and how it was disseminated. And then he's going to come on to talk about, the whole thing as well. So we're going to be, there's some drama that's going on with this shit. And it's pissing me off with the way how this parental leave guidance came out. Posted on the main page, tweeted out by the main page. Yeah, it's got individuals that I'm like, yeah, stop. Just, you need to stop. So Steve's going to be joining us at 9 o'clock after the break. So looking forward to that. However, you want to see the balloon again? Okay, sure, fine. However, okay, let me show you the balloon again. There's a story that came out of Recruiter Times. Now, you guys know that, sometimes we do stuff with Recruiter Times, and sometimes we discuss some shit. And if you don't follow Recruiter Times on all the USREC news happenings and goings, it's like a USREC WTF page. It is for recruiters by recruiters and submitted information from recruiters. So it's kind of I see it as a good, a good source of information. Just like everybody else, how they like to say how U.S. Army WTF moments, we don't have this news, we don't have that news, we don't have this news. They say the same shit about Recruiter Times within the recruiting command. And it kind of, it really pisses me off to a story that I saw, or I should say a post that I not pissed off at them, but pissed off at the fact that this even is even in discussion. So let me show you I'll show you the post itself, and this is from the Recruiter Times page, and again they posted this on their Facebook page. So real quick, and I'm just, like I said, just jumping in here with both feet. Doesn't matter. This is some fucked up shit. So I'm gonna read and paraphrase a little bit for you, for those of you that are not driving or something like that, or they can't see what I'm posting. Says, hey guys, I'm having a glorious time, and I'm having a hard time in the glorious Montgomery Battalion. I was diagnosed with cancer in August of last year. I initiated my MEB in November, applied for CSP 13 December, and since have not gotten any support in my transition. Those lines right there, just those 5 lines right there, I is enough. That I stopped reading at that because I was fuming that, and there's no fucking way, no way that this is a legit post. That I mean, and the Recruiter Times guys, they go through their shit. They go through their stuff and they get their verification. My first sergeant forgot I had cancer, and I had to remind him last week. I've been dealing with my demons for a while, and I've been trying to transition into an internship that allow me and my family to remain successful after the Army. I utilize open door policies all the way up to brigade, and even contacted IG to no avail. As far as the CSP, I'm expected to build a several week training plan so that my station can continue to run without me. I have expressed to the command teams that I'm struggling on the daily, and I get nothing but pushbacks. And let's keep making appointments. It's been expressed that, quote, that he's the issue, that I'm the issue. I've served honorably for almost 14 years, 6 months in USAREC, and I'm 3 months max, and from my proposed separation date, and I haven't been able to prepare at all. I'm at my wit's end with this command, and I could really use some help. I'm the issue. The first sergeant says that he forgot that I had cancer. What's going on, sergeants? Why have we now went from a really busy GWAT schedule to did we just forget how to take care of the fucking troops when it came to something like this? Like I said, the first thing that hit me is when it said I was diagnosed with cancer in August of last year. Stop. Hold the press. Stop the press. I'm sorry. My English is fucking isn't driving right now. I don't know what it is. I don't know what is it with leaders now that have starting to become quite toxic on a lot of other issues as well. Not just this right here from what we see from USAREC. It's almost like the enough that he's qualified for a med board, exactly. Starting to see a trend. I don't want to say that I wish we had the war come back because there was less garrison bullshit. But holy crap. There is a lot of BS that is happening. We see that now, of course, we have individuals that say, no, we're not like that, or the Army is doing great. And the Army, yeah, right. The Army is doing great. Love the Army. Love the Army. Don't get me wrong. I just hate the Army in some of its aspects, the way they let leaders go about the way they do. SRU, yep, exactly. Send them to SRU. I know you got friends coming, blah, blah, blah. How come this not gun up? Exactly. Why have we not had this troop? If he's going through a med board, I don't recall. Again, there's nothing busy in our Army right now, specifically in the recruiting command side, that would necessitate a soldier who's battling cancer. But, just saying. Just saying. Garrison is always 12 up and 4 down. Now, I'm going to tell you what, the Garrison Army right now, again, I don't want to say it. I think in deployments, I think wartime is what was an equal balance with the Army. I know, obviously, 20 years of war is not what we want, but it almost seems like, I don't know, what was disconnected? What's Sorent's, what's going on with this shit? He's exactly that. He definitely doesn't have time to recruit at all. At all. So I'm just blown away, but then again, I'm not surprised. I guess you would say that you get fucking, you get numb to it. You get numb to it and see, yeah, well, you know, I guess whatever. Oh, again, now go ahead and make some appointments. That's the shit that really trips me out. Go ahead and just start making appointments. Dude's got cancer, man. Dude's got cancer. Oh yeah, this just Wolverines. It's just hot off the press, man. Just hot off the press. I was talking with Recruiter Times about this and say, hey, I'm gonna talk about that on Thursday for SGT'S Time because that's a no-go. That's unsat. But that's just not whatever, you know. That's kind of like stopping halfway with that. What's going on with Big Sarge? What's going on with Sarge? What's going on with leaders? You look at every platform on social media. Again, this is my gig. It's supposed to be my gig to not troll social media, but I'm supposed to look at all the social media platforms that we have. WTF Moments and WTF Nation Radio. We look all over them and stuff like that, and we see all the comments, see all the postings, and we see the pulse and all that. We get the pulse, we feel it. I guess finger on the pulse, whatever you call it. I'm just gonna, for another example right now, right quick. Not some more Big Sarge madness. I'll bust out some screenshots. Shit, I don't give a shit. This has been corrected once it was identified. But it's little stuff like that with the 173rd Airborne Brigade. Sky soldiers. Quit wearing beanies in garrison. Mind you, they're in Germany. They're in Grafenfear. They're training. You look soft as baby shit. You look like a pogue, and you're outside long enough for it to matter. You look like the 41st. You look like 41st. I guess it's an organization. Places you can wear your beanie. In the motor pool and in the field. If you're confused as to what we should ask yourself, am I going to be mistaken for a leg in 41st? If the answer is yes, then the correct thing to do is not wear your beanie. Sorens. This ain't it. This ain't it. I literally, I don't know who we're recruiting. I don't know how we're training, but this little micromanaging bullshit, something that you're issued, and Big Sarge tells you can't wear it, like a beanie. I don't know, cold weather gear. And Garrus, you should be comfortable as the Army states. Yeah, dude. You're curious is that these guys are so comfortable to put shit like that in writing. What do they say behind closed doors? Well, to them, this is closed doors. They don't expect us to go up. But also, again, it's been rectified. The command was, they know about it now. All beanies are welcome. You can wear your beanies. 173rd Airborne Brigade. And there you go. So I'm just like, it's just, but it doesn't stop there. What's kind of dumb, Christopher? This is kind of dumb, or is the Army pulling their shit kind of dumb? We wore our rat mask in Germany in the winter. Army represent. You're wearing a beanie right now. All right, there you go. Like, for instance, this one right here. Hey, what's up, Musa? What you got important news? Whoa, hold up. What's your news? What's your news, man? What's your news? It gets cold. Army pulling their shit is what's done. Oh, yeah, you ain't lying, dude. Yeah, dude. I hear you. So here's some more dumb then. Soldier got quarters. When are you coming to work? My quarters ends at 12, so I was going to come in after 12. After lunch, Sarn first class. Well. Oh, now it's in Wyoming. Okay, so the weather balloon, the Chinese balloon has been moved, has been flying, is now in Wyoming. Just sitting there looking at nukes. To continue, my quarters ends at 12 o'clock, so I was going to come in after lunch, Sarn. Well, CSM informed us that quarters is not a time plus and when you got it, but an accountability to accountability. So it was supposed to end this morning at accountability formation. The soldier says, my quarter specifically says what time it ends, Sarnt. And if I may be blunt, that's not how quarters works. Get him, troop, get him. Fight the power. That's what I'm talking about. 24 hours. Again, what is it with you, Sarts? What is it with you, Sarts? Yeah, they're taking a bunch of pictures. That's something too. Hey, Musa, they don't want to shoot it down, man. They say it might hurt somebody. We can get an A10 and shoot it down. I know, huh? Wish. So, all right, let's jump into the drama of this new policy that's been released. That's got everybody up in arms. That's got everybody saying, "Whoa, if we ever get in war with China, I don't know. Those fuckers are circling our airspace with a balloon, and we don't seem to be doing anything about it." Just saying. Really looking strong out there for the world. So what was I saying? Oh yeah, that's what I was saying. It's gonna get deep. Yeah, it's gonna get deep. No one's gonna care. Wyoming has a population of about 100 people. Now is the time to take it out. That's right. Now it's time. It is. It's the time to get it, to take it out. Okay, so you guys know about the Alarak. That the Army, or that we were waiting on the DoD policy to come out, and it came out January 4th. So that did happen, and it came out. And so the Alarak 007 2023. Ooh, was that on purpose? 007 2023. Wow. This is the Army parental leave stuff. It's parental leave applies when soldiers when one of these events occurs on or after 27 December 2022. The birth of a soldier's child, adoption of a minor child for a soldier, placement of a minor child for a soldier for adoption, parental leave for a service member will be authorized for the pair for their child and the care outlined in the Alarak. All birth parents, soldiers who physically give birth and deferred or excused for 360 days after the birth for continuous duty activities and excess of normal duty days. Specific situations are outlined in the message. Only the first GO in the chain of command may disapprove requests for parental leave. Let's stop right there. It isn't an XO. It isn't a DCO. It can't be delegated down. So if you were in 1st Brigade, 1st Cavalry Division, or whatever, guess what? The 2-star commander of your organization is the only one that has disapproval authority. Not the XO, not the DCO, not the Sergeant Major, not your company commander, not the brigade commander. That's it. I love this. I love this. This is what I'm talking about. Now think about this. Imagine if you're not in a division, 1st Armored Division, 1st Infantry Division, 82nd Airborne, 101st. Imagine if you were in a brigade separate organization. Then that means your first GO in the chain of command. Let me say that again, otra vez. In the chain of command is a 3-star. So, that means old Lieutenant Colonel or Furborg Colonel Schmuckatelli can't say, you can't take this. Or, I'm going to disapprove it. Neither does a CSM. If the unit commander does not approve taking incremental pre, they must allow the soldier to take the full weeks. So if they say, hey, you can't take increments, we're not going to do this by increments, the soldier could say, okay, fine, I'm taking the full 12 weeks of parental leave in one continuous period. Again, may take ordinary leave in between incrementally of parental leave, consecutively with parental leave, and no particular order of sequence of leave is required. Boy, this has got Big Sarge. This has got Big Sarge. This has got Big Sirs. I mean, do we say Big Sirs or Big Mams? Big officers. I don't know. Boy, they're pretty pissed off. They're a little quemado right now. They're butthurt that they, wait a minute, what do you mean you can't? Now think about this. Think about the state of the force. If the first disapproval authority is a GO, yeah, just go talk to your squad leader. Yeah, it would have happened. Your squad leader can't disapprove that. Yeah, exactly that. Do you really want that paperwork at the 2-star's desk on why? Again, like the recruiting situation with that soldier that is fighting cancer, I can't think right now, and if anything else, I cannot think. And stop telling me, look, dude, we're not even again, I'm going to say it again. We're not even considering shooting a balloon down, so I can just tell you where the fucking priorities are. There's nothing right now. Nothing right now at all that you could tell me or convince me that this is a bad thing. This is a good thing. This is a good thing. I love this shit. This is what I'm talking about. Have them babies. Go. Have them babies. There's not going to be one single Look, if your organization is going to fail the fuck out because your spouse or you as, or you as the parent are gone for 12 weeks, says something about your organization. 12 weeks. That's what I'm talking about. Hell yeah. 12 weeks. Woo. So there's a 4-force GO and the user command. Yeah, it's a 4-star, right? That's for user. And if how they break down, they can't delegate that stuff. Yeah, exactly that, Holly. Can't fly a drone in downtown Nashville, but hell, China can have whatever fucking airspace they want. Are we seeing some? I mean, again, Wolverine's kind of perplexed. What's NORAD doing? They sure can fucking track Santa just fine and populate it to the and broadcast to the world, but for some reason, NORAD can't just fucking do this now. Oh, man. I bet you there's a commander out there that will approve it when you've gone for 12 weeks, come back and schedule an APFT just for pay. Yes. There's already traffic in the inbox that is trending to that. That is trending to saying that, yeah, you could go, but, just think about how it would look on your eval. Your reputation's going to be shot. I saw another comment like that on social media, too. That's right, man. We got to defend the airspace, man. No, I don't know. You were about to take the Army physical fitness test, exactly. So let's break this down. I mean, everyone's was getting a little upset because of how, and this is why we have our guest coming on too, courtesy of Sergeant Major Chandler, Sergeant the Army Chandler. This is why, and this is going to be discussing how we're going to talk about it. So right there, it's unclassed CUI. Now that's the biggest drama right now. Me, like I said, our guest Steve, we're going to talk about this too. It's like a little dig to not, I don't know. We'll talk about it too, because it's like, I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Any limitations below provided in this policy requires approval by the Secretary of the Army. So there you go. That is just one. All active component, reserve component soldiers performing active guard and reserve duty full time for more than 12 months consecutively. Reserve component soldiers performing duty under a call or order to active service for more than 12 months consecutively refer to collectively in this message as soldiers. There you go. And are covered in the parental leave policy. Again, just highlighting some stuff. Birth parents, it gives you the little description there, like I said earlier. We kind of like, it gives a little the classification. The parental leave for soldiers will be authorized parental leave for the birth of their child and care for the child in accordance with the paragraphs 4F. Can I say that? 4 Foxtrot and 4 Golf. Birth parents, deployment mobilization, field training, pretty much laid out. Again, the ALARAC is pretty thorough. I like it. Maternity convalescent leave is authorized for the recovery of the birth parent from giving birth if such leave is specifically recommended in writing by the health care provider. Another thing that I saw somebody saying is that how much commanders are going to get involved with medical stuff. I fucking love this, man. I think there's more leaders that are spending more energy on how not to enforce and implement this policy than anything else. 12 weeks of leave will be authorized during the 1-year period on the date of birth of the child. Read that fine print on that fucking DD-214 subject to recall. I've been trying, dude. I've been trying. Every time I do, they say, you're going to give up doing WTF Nation? No, I'm not going to give it up. Then you can't go on. Then whatever. Just kidding. I don't know. They didn't say that. Again, look at that. Look at that right there. Third paragraph on the bottom. Only the first general officer in a soldier's chain of command may disapprove a request for parental leave for any soldier identified in 4 Golf. If the parental leave is disapproved, soldiers will refer to paragraph 6 and 7. Oh, let's go to 6 and 7. Let's go to paragraph 6 and 7. Just fucking just do that right now. Just go to paragraph 6 and 7. Deferral. Sorry, I'm using the main page's social media. Operational deployed soldiers must normally defer parental leave until their deployment is completed. However, in compelling circumstances, a unit commander may approve parental leave if the commander determines that the unit's readiness will not adversely be impacted. So if you're deployed or something like that, I don't know. Are we not sending soldiers back home? I kind of remember that. That we usually do. Y'all can go and try to call me back as my general officer, my ass. But officer's going to buck all the way up to the chain. No. The soldiers nowadays are not like the soldiers back in the day, Jeff. They will buck up to the chain of command now. This isn't bucking the chain of command right here. This is a legit policy. Only the first general officer in the general soldier chain of command may disapprove a request. Hang on, let me say that again. Only the first general officer in the soldier's chain of command may disapprove a request. One more time. Otra vez. Only the first general officer in a soldier's chain of command may disapprove a request for parental leave for any soldier identified in paragraph 4 Golf. That's it. They will. No, so soldiers nowadays, man. And the thing is, and that's the thing too. I'm glad you brought that up, Jeff. When a commander, when a commander will sit there and hang on, let me switch the stops a soldier from seeing some. I'm serious. I think it's bullshit. Anyways, if a leader is stopping a soldier from seeing their chain of command specifically for this policy. Yeah, because they get calls, they get cell phones in basic training now. Yeah. Yeah, that's how it works now. Is this soldier Desmond Doss? Who's this soldier? Who are you talking about? You talking about me? Am I Desmond Doss? I'm not Desmond Doss. Wait, who's this soldier? Wait, what soldier are we talking about? You're talking about Jeff there, David? You kind of threw me off there, dude. Kindler, gentler army. Man, Jeff, really? Why is this kindler, gentler? Tell me, why is this kindler, gentler? Why is it being there for the birth of your child and the opportunity and a policy written for that, a kindler, gentler army? Yeah, I had phones in basic too. AT&T credit card or AT&T pay card. AT&T used to be all over basic training to try to get you them cards to dump money in, and all of a sudden it just cut you off. Oh, the soldier that won't authorize leave. Oh, I don't know. I was just providing a scenario for the parental leave. The millennial army. Yeah, dude. The millennials, they're not just much older than us. Millennials. The millennials. It's millennials. Bro, fuck. It's you. You are part of they're old now. They're part of the old crew. I don't know. I have some friends that are millennials that get mad about me saying that, but you're What are you talking about, Willis? I'm just. See, oh man, you guys are killing me. There's nothing wrong with this parental leave policy. There's nothing wrong with having this. Again, there's nothing wrong with allowing a soldier, specifically since we're not in war right now, with the balloon flying up in the fucking air over our airspace, like no one gives a shit. We can't shoot it down because we're afraid we're gonna hurt people. Isn't it, Daryl? That policy is written perfect. It is written perfect, and all the but what abouts. Now, of course, I'll be a bit late. We were the last ones. I've worked in staffs before where we always had bootlegs of copies of some of the you give a shit ice. What you give a shit about? What you give a shit? I know you give a shit, man. We always got the read ahead of what the policy was going to look like. You had a commander said that babies are born every day. Yeah, babies are born every day. That's right. We can add to that. Divorces because you weren't there when your babies were born every day could happen too. China has a better chance of flying a spy balloon than a junior enlisted has taking a leave. Exactly that, Oscar. Boy, we're really looking. What's the status of the balloon, by the way? Let's see. Let me check the wires right quick, because I think it's freaking hilarious that the balloon is still ballooning. Where's it? It's over Wyoming now. Just gonna let that happen, right? See, let's look at the wire real quick. So by the way, it's been being tracked for days. It's not like it's new. So let's see. Oh, I did show you the balloon. You want to see the balloon again? I'll show you the balloon. I'll show you once I get it, man. Well, I gotta get it. I gotta see what we got. There's no new pics other than the ones there. They won't make it to the south. They will know better. I'm gonna tell you, man. This is everyone's talking about, well, shoot it down and see what happens, or what happens if it deflates or comes down or whatever. I'm gonna tell you, is it gonna have its own? Is it gonna have its own Twitter handle with a blue check? Well, the way the I don't know, the way our response has been pretty impotent right now. So guess what? I'll say, let me just quote this for NBC News that, and this is what they broke. Is that a suspected Chinese surveillance balloon has been hovering over the northern U.S. over the past few days, and the U.S. government has discussed shooting it out of the sky. So to be in discuss for the last several days, and of course, it's just up there, and it's just up there, just there, just floating around. This is the job for Balloon Boy. I'm about to say, man, Pennywise is fucking. I don't know. It's just we're not gonna do anything about it, right? We're just gonna sit there and watch the balloon fly over and exactly. It's like, I've got a friend with a Cessna and we got a 12 gauge. That's right. Gang gang. Just do it. The news is just broadcasting. The Pentagon is tracking a suspected Chinese balloon. This is like several. We're talking about CNN, NBC News, CBS News. Just tracking it. Just tracking balloons. It's just like there. It's just like now it's on Fox. Oh yeah, it's on Fox. Harry, let me pull that link up. Thank you. There we go. Watch it be some old man inside a box. Now, there it is. Spotted over U.S. and we're just like sitting there going, "Oh, look at that, man! Have we not watched enough movies?" Independence Day comes to mind. Right, everyone in the chat's saying that. I agree. We should just shoot it down. They're waiting on somebody to award the contract to pop the balloon. Since we can't do anything without a contractor these days, exactly. Yeah, exactly that. So much for protected airspace. Yeah, they would. Actually, that's the thing. If we were to imagine us flying a balloon, launching a balloon from Taiwan into China, what would happen? Because everybody knows that Taiwan is a country. So imagine if we were to launch a balloon up there. Sending them drones, right? It's unreal. Unreal. So what were we talking about before you guys talked about the balloon? Okay. Let's see. Oh, let me see where the map is at. Where was it last seen? Billings, Montana is where it was last seen. Hey, let me grab another pic. So it's well within our airspace. So it's not like we flew in over some sort of exclusion zone or, oh, I'm sorry. didn't mean to fly my balloon there. I guess that's what, oh shit, that's what happens. Shit happens with a balloon, right? Be right back. Pour another bourbon. I know. This right here, I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. I'm not saying I got my PSYOP tinfoil hat on. I'm gonna start talking like Alex Jones or something like that. He starts going off about some shit. I'm just saying, this is kind of freaky, kind of comical. So yeah, take that bourbon, man. Go for it. Oh boy. Okay, here we go. What were we talking about? Yeah, we were talking about the parental leave policy. Exactly that, Musa. Right there with you, man. Right there with you. So going back to what I was saying about the policy in itself, a lot of it, again, it's posted on U.S. Army WTF Moments. It's also posted on, it's headed for Canada, whatever you do. Yeah, exactly that, Gary. We let it get almost halfway across our country, and we should have shut it down in the Pacific. Think about it. Let's hear that again. This is why, if you really want to not trust the government, listen to the headlines again. We've been tracking this balloon for the last 3 or 4 days. And it was only because somebody with a camera goes, the fuck is that? Oh, yeah. My bad. So the definition, of course, to continue the conversation, defines what adoption means, what the definitions of adoption, birth parent, and child, all the other paragraphs of what the convalescent leave is broken down to: foster care and a military exercise, a military maneuver or simulated wartime operation involving planning or execution that is carried out for the purpose of training and evaluation. So it's probably full of classified documents. I'm telling you, man, everyone, I saw that other comment. There's like, it's the Rona wagon. A period of non-chargeable leave granted to a soldier following birth of a soldier's child, adoption of a minor child by a soldier, or placement of a minor child within the soldier for adoption or long-term foster care in order to care for the child. So most of these stuff right here is a description. Again, I would suggest that you go ahead and go to the main page or U.S. Army WTF Moments' Twitter and grab the information from there. Spanky said that that more than likely it's almost as if they knew the kind of leaders we have out there. Yeah, no lie. Except, of course, IPS-A. Man, did you hear about the IPS-A stuff? Dropping people's shit and all that. Currently, right now, we have a disaster going on with rogue captains, and apparently, some captain decided to reply all. Not only did this captain reply all to everybody, but replied all to everybody to where the entire net, their organization, has locked them out. Exactly. Well, it's a captain. What do you expect? Exactly. There you go. So there's captains that said, please take me off of this distro list. Please take me off of this distro list. Replying all, of course. And then now they're all arguing a distro of captains trying to figure out who's more unprofessional. As long as someone tries to deny it, it's because it's a super spammer. You're deploying to Atropia. Right, dude. This is Pineland level shit right here, man. This is, I'm like fucking, it's just frustrating. Again, man. Throw maple syrup at it. All right, we'll keep talking about the fucking balloon. You guys are fucking out of control. All right, let me see. Let me go back to see what other news as we're discussing about it, and I'll post pics. Yep, we'll post pics. The balloon. You guys are just like totally killing the freaking the buzz here, but it's okay. We got the guests come on a little bit, so hang on. Get the balloon. Yeah, got it. Okay, gotcha. We got the balloon. Musa, we got the balloon. So I don't think you just came on here, so you didn't see the exquisite array of balloonness that I posted earlier at the beginning of the show. So there's the balloon right there, just floating around. There it is with all the tech hanging from it. I know, dude. Think about that. I'm sure there's someone on here who saw my reply all to the fool bird who complained about being on the distro list. Just send me that email. How about that? Send me that email to the reply all, because I like jumping on email trains. I've done that before. I've sent messages to a command and a reply all. All I need is that email. So there it is. You see the array. You see the tech that's hanging from it. Wyoming. Okay, so everyone's saying it's Wyoming now. Gotcha. God, dudes. Fucking. Again, I'm telling you, we don't understand. We can't make communication with a balloon. Oh look, the bottom's opening. I'm telling you, man, this is like Independence Day. Balloon just floating around. Opens it up. I'm sorry. The next thing you know, we're gonna get fucking some zapper who's gonna come down on us and share with the class. Exactly that. Share with the class. Just forward. Don't reply all. Forward us the email. Don't reply all with us in the email. Forward all that email crap and put us in the email thing there. Don't reply all with us in it. I want to fuck up our shit. You'll have some fucking snotty captain going, "What is fucking doing? How come you guys have this on here now? WTF Mamas is on here. How'd they get a hold of our email?" BCC, the WTF Nation. See, I'm trying to look for some more pictures. I don't see it. Yeah, I don't see it. Yeah. I don't see more on it. The thing is spraying some kind of bio agent already. Yeah, it could be Kim or his sister's uptight. I'm telling you, man, it's like they fucking know this what it is. This is some freaky shit. Let me see what I got going on here in the green room. I just got a notification. Blink. Oh, okay. So our guest is in the green room, hanging out with us right now. So we'll get our guests here set up in a minute. Hey, Steve, what's going on? Can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, man. Perfect. All right, so we're gonna go on break right quick, and what we're going to do is I'm gonna set up the show for me and Steve to chat, which again has something and everything to do with the with the policy being released, and I'm looking forward to having that discussion. So with that, we're gonna take a break right quick. So everyone, refill your glasses and shots.
What is this Facebook Live? I've never heard of this shit.
WTF Nation Radio. WTF Nation Radio.
Take it from me, Ice. You can't just float around space not caring about stuff forever.
The voice of U.S. Army. WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio.
Shit in the bag, Pogue.
I am here determined to stop this future atrocity.
This station is now the ultimate power in the universe. I suggest we use it.
The voice of U.S. Army, WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio.
I find your lack of faith disturbing.
Everything stated on WTF Nation Radio is to be considered the opinion of the person that stated it, and not an official representation of WTF Nation Radio or U.S. Army WTF Moments.
Price does not include tax, title, or license. Some assembly required. Each item sold separately. Batteries not included. Objects in mirror are closer than they appear. If conditions persist, contact a physician. Individual results may vary. Keep out of the reach of children. Avoid prolonged exposure to direct sunlight. Keep in a cool, dark place. And
please enjoy the show. Shots.
And we're back. Oh man, had a good discussion for a pre-talk. The balloon's still flying, yes, it's still up. Just look right now, it's still somewhere in Wyoming. So, anyways, right now I got my guest chilling out with us, Steve Beynon. What's going on, dude?
Hey, man, thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
Hey, I appreciate this short notice discussion. I know. Real quick. Tell us about yourself before we start the rants.
Yeah. So, I'm always here to talk about the Army. So, I cover the Army right now for military.com, and I've been in the journalism business for about 10 years, as a Stars and Stripes, Bloomberg, Politico, started out local news in Cincinnati. And on the side, I'm also in the National Guard. I'm on year like 15 or 16 or something like that in DC.
So what do you do in the Guard? I mean, I know everyone. I want everybody to hear what you got, so that way we can make fun of you. I'm just kidding. What do you do in the Guard? Oh,
I'm a Calf Scout, so you can get those jokes out right now.
I knew it. I was waiting for it. I'm like, ooh.
Yeah. I normally have my Stetson behind me, but it's actually packed. I'm actually going to an Army school for all of February, so that'll be fun. Right now I'm an instructor at an RTI, so kind of I'm got out of the line units, found myself a nice cushy job, just teaching classes and stuff like that. So it's pretty good.
So what got you in journalism? I mean, or actually, were you journalism first in the Guard, or then the Guard and then journalism? How did you?
No, so man, I wish I had a super patriotic story about joining the Guard, but I looked at how much college was, and I said that's just expensive. And so I had two courses. And mind you, I'm telling the story from this is perspective of me at 17, which is when I enlisted. So,
okay.
I like a lot of 17-year-olds in peak GWAT, I wanted to get some, right? So, I said, how do I want to do that? But I also had, my civilian goals, right? So I looked at active duty. I didn't really trust it to also like be able to do like the college thing, right? And then I didn't even know about the guard. And then, guard recruiter came and said, you can do both if you want. You get to skip the garrison stuff, which I didn't know what that meant at the time. I found out later, if you're in combat arms and active duty, you spend more time mopping than shooting machine guns, which is what I wanted to do. And they said, and you'll go deploy and go to war. And I said, that sounds fucking awesome. Let's do it. And I basically spent like 2008, 2009 going to schools nonstop because the guard had unlimited money at this time before I was eventually able to go to Afghanistan twice. And and then I just kind of like stuck around in the guard, and I'm hoping to just kind of ride out the last couple of years. So it's a kind of a combination of, I didn't know if I wanted to do Army stuff. I kind of want to do Army stuff. I really want to do journalism stuff, and the guard, I could bitch about the guard all day, but they give you a good deal. They're like, listen, man, it's going to suck a little bit. It's actually going to suck a lot, but you don't have to do it if you really hate it, it's only like a couple days out of the month, and we'll pay for your college. And I got a VA home loan. I just bought a house. So
nice.
I only like kind of lost my hearing and got my head banged around just a little bit. It is a fair trade.
Yeah. Somebody just made a comment. So what? You're like 25 now? I mean, somebody didn't catch. Oh, how old? So how altogether? How old? How long altogether have you been in the guard?
I joined in 2008. Jesus, was that make it 14, 15 years?
Yeah,
something along those lines. Yeah. I joined when I was 17. I turned 32 in 2 weeks. Something like, we'll call it 14, 15 years.
There you go. So guys, he's not that young. Okay. He just has that baby face. He has that,
I do got a baby face. It was even more horrendous when I was like 17. People thought I was 10. Yeah. And then, so actually, fun fact, I'm actually going to a school. I got a reclass from the Cav Scout because the DC Guard doesn't have that stuff. And, I'm an instructor, but I need to hold an MOS. So I'm just going to 42 Alpha School. So I'm just going straight up, just, that'll be fun. That'll be great. I'm going to learn all about IPSE.
You're going to learn about all the drama that's currently drowning the Army right now in whatever, when it comes to the personnel world.
Well, I need an MOS that's, not combat arms, and I'm not going to be a mechanic. Medic school's too long. I'm too stupid to fly, and I'm not going to be a cook. So, I mean, they're like, you just be a 42 Alpha. You'll go learn how to do leaf papers, which I'm the guard. I'll never process leave my entire life. And you'll come back and it'll be fine. All right, that sounds fine.
42 Alpha. So wait, you're an officer? Or?
No. So that's human resources.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, no, I'm just an E6. So.
Gotcha. Okay. Mm-hmm. All right. Yeah, I was like 42 Alphas. I thought all officers were like Alpha MOS.
I think so. I think that's like the weird exception. I never even thought about that because if you do like 11 Alpha, that's like an infantry officer.
Correct.
So like,
correct.
Yeah. I'm sure the people watching will come up with 1,000 like Alpha things for enlisted that I can't, and they think I'm stupid. I'm like, but that's the only one I can think of right now.
Stolen Valor, yeah, whatever.
Dude, I don't know MOSs, man, because you're in the. I was actually more infantry companies than Cav. I was in the Cav for like 4 minutes in Ohio, and then I deployed with the 148 out of Ohio. Then I went to the Maryland Guard for a while. They don't have Cav, so I went to the infantry there. I don't know MOSs beyond like the combat arms and maybe like the big ones, like your medics and human resources folks. So like I'm in outside of that world, and I just like ask people. I'm like, what are you? They're like, I'm like a 96 Zulu, and I was like, I don't know what the fuck. Yeah. Like, just tell me what you do.
Yeah, exactly. It's just, what is that? It was I still ask myself, and I'm retired for a few years now, and I'll get I'm a blah, blah, blah. I'm like, oh shit, what the hell is that? And then it's like, oh, it's combat engineer. I'm like, what? They changed the name of they changed the entire MOS. Yeah. So for me, it's like I have to, and me, because all the news that we do, we got to keep up with that. I got to keep up with that. So you did time in Afghanistan or Iraq?
Just Afghanistan, yeah.
Just Afghanistan.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Did you did you? I mean, how long were you there for? What was the rotation there at the time for you?
I did 2 rotations, both with the Ohio National Guard, and they were both actually in Helmand Province, which is usually known for where the Marines were and the Europeans were. But we were there. There's also the Puerto Rican National Guard there, so that was like kind of the Army presence at the time, and we were at both. So it was like kind of like so there were 2 deployments. There was a gap in the middle, and there was going to be a rotation with another unit. I just volunteered to go again. Typical enlisted story. My fiance at the time broke up with me. I didn't have much, and I'm home for just a couple months, and I was, they needed people to go again, and I said, okay, that's cool. There's like this fob. If people are familiar with helmet, it would be kind of between Leatherneck and Lashkar Gah on that kind of areas where I did a lot of stuff in.
Did you so that was the only time you didn't go to Iraq or anything like that?
No, I completely missed Iraq. Yeah.
Was there, okay, so was that kind of like focused? How did you get focused in journalism? I mean, what was the that was like, I think I'm gonna do journalism, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So I don't know what kind of the eureka moment was. It's so when I was a teenager, I was really into video games, like a lot of teenage boys, right? And if people like kept up with that stuff back then, I read a lot of like GameSpot, IGN, Giant Bomb, that kind of stuff. So I thought I wanted to do that. So there's like this weird nerdy alternate universe where I'm like some Twitch streamer or something like that. I got kind of disinterested in that in my early 20s and fell into local news. Actually, if you look up old Harambe coverage, I was there. I was in Cincinnati when Harambe went down. I was like the first or second reporter there. And if you look,
hard hitting.
Yeah.
You should have gotten an Emmy for that.
I should. Yeah, no. And so I did kind of like the local news thing. You just like cover like who got stabbed where, and this road's closed because it's raining. And then I get into political news. I started covering City Hall. I helped host like a mayoral debate in Cincinnati, and really went into the political world. That's how I got a job at Politico around like 2014, 2015, covered that election. And then I got really tired of politics really fast. And then I got picked up in defense reporting because unlike other beats, right, you can cover whether it's politics or immigration or whatever, right? Every beat has its own language, things you need to know, but the military is so unique with that jargon and that culture. Yep. It is so impenetrable for like a reporter with no background in it to get into. That's why it's really impressive what Haley Britsky's been able to do. Been kind of a leader in Army covers. Now she's at CNN because she has no background in the military, and like I have like kind of a cheat code in it. And when you have that, editors kind of like you start gravitating to that coverage, just because frankly, like it would take a reporter years just to figure basic stuff out.
She took military reporting like a duck to water, man. It was just bam. It was right there. She was on in a lot of stuff. A lot of yeah, you're right. I don't know. I guess you would say she's a unicorn when it comes to that aspect, because I can't think of anyone else that understands. So I think anyone can cover, hey, the Pentagon's buying 15 new jets, or this is the weapons package in Ukraine. But I think what makes the good military reporter stand out is understanding the culture. Correct.
Because anyone can cover weapons packages or delivery, or we invaded this, but to be able to talk to the soldier and to be able to know what to ask, the Army secretary at the one press conference they do a year, that is what's special. And she nails that.
Yeah, she does.
I'm just some schluck that showed up.
You're Cav man. You're Cav man. Everyone's already calling you Cav man.
Hey, that's fine. That's totally. Listen, I gotta make your Stetson and Spurs. It's cool, man. It's goofy.
Are you wearing your Spurs right? Are you wearing your Spurs right now? Somebody said you probably are.
I never wear my Spurs after 7:00.
No, it's, what, you're right, because it's a beat that is, unless you're in, like you said, it's you can't break through some of the thinking of the mentality. She just jumps right in it and just tackles it, almost as if she was been in herself. And I always, people ask me, he's like, she better.
Oh, she could have totally stolen valor me. She could have just like made up some story. Like, I was in for like 10 years. I was at drum for a couple years. I went to brag. I was in the guard I would totally believe her. Be like, oh shit. Yeah,
exactly. Right. I mean, she carried herself like, I love it. It's awesome.
Yeah. I had this really great memory. She, when the shit was going down in Ukraine and we initially sent soldiers to Poland from the 82nd, we drove to Fort Bragg together actually. And they obviously we didn't get on the plane. I showed up with dip and scotch trying to bribe my way onto a plane with the soldiers, like trying to get on the manifest, right? Didn't work out. The White House National Security Council had a problem with that. But anyway, but they let us hang out, and there's just this moment like her and I are sitting with like all these paratroopers just shooting the shit, eating pizza and whatever, and just having there's this great photo of it. And it's just us talking to these E4s, just chilling for like an hour. And like that, is, like we were talking to the Army. We spent so much time talking to generals and the SMA, and they have an input that's important to a certain degree. But you need to be able to talk to the E4. That's the Army. That's what makes us good reporters, to constantly have that perspective.
Right.
And not everyone can do that.
No. Somebody said that you didn't bribe the right person.
Yeah, I know. I fucked up. Like there's a lot of AAR comments for the whole me not getting to Poland. Like, yeah, no, there's a lot of room for improvement.
You know, and that's a you know, I'm curious. You just talked about how long it's been since there's been a press brief. I mean, those are some questions that I've seen you discuss online and on your socials before. What is it with our defense media right now that's not providing those briefings? I mean,
so specifically with the Army or the Pentagon?
Both, the Army and the Pentagon.
Well, let me start with the Army. So, yeah. So first, I'll get into why press conferences are important. So it is important that senior leaders, and when I say senior leaders, I'm referencing General McConville, the Army Secretary, and the SMA, right? It's very important that they're available to us because soldiers and other stakeholders constantly bring concerns to us, and then we're kind of the middleman. Like, people will bring issues to me, like, hey, the Army's fucked up this way, or did you look into this, right? And then I need opportunities to take that to them, right? Rather to get a real answer to something, to hold them accountable for fucking something up,
right?
Or just to put the issue on their radar, right? Because sometimes they just don't know about something. I'll ask about something, they'll be like, oh, shit, that's a good point, right? Maybe they weren't properly briefed, their staff's not telling them the right thing. And they don't do that as much as they should. I don't know if they need to do a daily briefing like the White House does, right? They're like, I have a lot of questions about the Army, but I don't need to talk to the Army Secretary every day. But what they are moving towards, they are going to start doing quarterly press conferences. That is what I'm told they're going to start doing it. And the first one's going to be late February.
Oh, okay.
But I'm not giving them credit until I actually see it, though.
Yeah,
because otherwise they only did it once a year. Open press conferences. If there's some specific ACFT rollout or something like that, they'll do a press conference. And some of them are really available. Like the SMA is very available. I can get him on the phone in most situations when I actually need him. He let me do kind of an embed with him for a week. I got a lot of interview time with him. So he's not necessarily hiding from the press or anything, but as a unit, senior leaders aren't available all together all at once. And from their perspective, they get screwed over if they're only available once a year, which they have been when they do their press conference at AUSA, their once a year thing, because it's very combative, right? I talk to the SMA pretty frequently, but I talk to the Army Secretary once a year. And you go back to that press conference, it was very heated. That's when the Donahoe stuff was coming out.
Yeah, exactly.
That's when me and Davis Winkie from Military Times was, kind of taking pot shots at the secretary for not doing interviews with either of us or press conferences. And, she has a team that kind of hides her from the press. So it's in her best interest to do more press engagement, because if she only does it once, it's only going to be hostile, versus if there's plenty of top Army brass and leaders that do frequent engagements, and so it's not necessarily hot every single time.
Right.
That makes their job easier too.
Now, do you think someone like
benefits?
Yeah, like a State of the Army address or whatever would be something like that when you're talking about the frequency of it? I mean, I know what you're saying is like, somebody's asking a question is like, what percentage of military leaders view your respective media organizations as a nuisance because of those heated conversations?
Yeah. So what they're doing, and they haven't, like I said, they haven't done the quarterly press conferences yet, but on paper that sounds That sounds about right. Like you do a quarterly one, they get to put out whatever information they want to put out, and then we get access to them. And in a perfect world, we have access to them between those conferences for specific things. And yeah, just like you said, just to kind of hear a state of the Army, right? And then they take whatever questions we have. I think the plan for that should work, but have me on at March, and we'll see how the February press conference works.
Yeah, really. I was just thinking of like, we'll see how that goes. Yeah. How do you feel that your military peers, I guess you'd say behaviors and relationships changed when you got into your respective news outlet? Like when you got in, everyone's like, oh shit, we got Steve. He's staff. We got Sergeant Beynon here, just like going to rat us out. How does that affect your I guess your work, military side?
Yeah, so I got very strict guardrails to make that work. I do not write any stories about the DC National Guard. I might like reference them in like big picture, like if I'm talking about January 6th, I might say, hey, the DC Guard was there, right? Yeah. But there's no in-depth reporting. I can't use any information I use while I'm on duty. You know, that's the only way that's going to work. And in terms of, but I mean, DC Guard's a very small part of the Army, so it doesn't impact the coverage at all, right?
Gotcha.
In terms of how peers see it, I think basically I've actually haven't had any negative feedback. I've had first sergeants and commanders, you know, they come in and they want to know what's going on with the Army because I usually know more than they do.
You're probably about to say, hey man, what's going? What? Yeah, it's almost like the smoke pit.
especially with stuff like, I mean, I think everyone's tired of talking about it, but like the ACFT, you gotta think, you rewind the tape like a year or two ago when like it was changing every 5 minutes, no one knew what was going on. Like they'd be like, hey, sorry, what's going on with that ACFT? And I'm like, sit down, sir, I'll tell you what's going on with that shit.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm kind of seen as a pretty useful, you know, if you want to keep your ear to the ground, what's going on with Big Army. I think they've been kind of smart with that. Yeah, so I think it's actually been, you would think there'd be a lot of problems, but I mean, frankly, like any chain of command I've been under has gotten quite a kick out of it.
Awesome. I was about to say, because I know, you know, somebody's asked me a question. How have your peers treated you any different since I was unmasked? And I had individuals that don't speak to me anymore. I have individuals that remember me as their first sergeant or remember me as their team leader. And they're like, oh shit, I knew it. I knew this was something you would do or whatever. You know what I mean? So it's been kind of like both back and forth. It's created a network for me that I didn't really expect to get, you know, but somebody's asking you, since you're still a green suiter, what CYA steps do you have to take that a green suiter will normally have to do? I don't know if that, I think you just kind of answered it already.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'll go in a little bit more detail. So about those guardrails, like I actually have a counseling statement that like, you know, like when I got to my new unit, being an OCS instructor pretty recently, and I just had a counseling statement. The commander knew who I was. And I said, hey, sign this, sir. This is just me saying like, hey, what happens here stays here.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, I don't do any news gathering while on duty. I'm not looking at any classified material I might get while I'm on duty.
Yep, I'm the same way.
Or anything like that. You know, when I'm a soldier, I'm a soldier. When I'm a journalist, I'm a journalist. And
yeah, that's pretty much to answer the question too about what when I get invited to some organizations and stuff. I always say, Chatham House rules. I'm going to discuss what we're going to discuss with you, and you're going to discuss me, and it's not going to end up on WTF Moments. It's not going to, or it's not going to it's not going to end up on WTF Moments to be given to Steve Beynon to put on military.com.
yeah. It's also like, you know, you also be real with people. Be like, listen, man, it's a National Guard, and it's like 2 or 3 days. Like what the fuck am I going to see here? That, you know, like let's be realistic here. We're you know,
Steve, it's a DC National Guard. It's like top secret stuff. It's like you guys are underneath tunnels and stuff.
Let's be real here. It's the Guard. We're gonna go qualify our weapons. We'll do a PT test once in a while. We got some admin work to do. I'm gonna teach battle drills to some class, and we're done. You know, there's nothing.
Yeah, pretty much.
There's nothing high speed going on here that you got to worry about being in the press.
Well, you know, and that's another thing too, is that there's there's a lot of intersection, right? There's a lot of intermixing with what Guard individuals do, and they're in the news, and they, like you said, like January 6th or like that you see them posting the news, and you find out way at the end this individual is a member of the National Guard, and does that give
or
you
a sharpshooter?
Yeah, exactly. I remember, you know what? I will say the shout out to Haley about this is that she even was like, dude, it's not what you think it is. It's not what it's not like all of a sudden everyone's got these, you know, super scoped out rifles and we're all sharpshooters and we're all going to go and you know, go kick doors down or knock down.
I mean, it's the Guard. I got CCO that's been 0 to 7 years. Don't worry about it.
Well, but that damn dude. But you at least go to the range, right? I mean, you still do range stuff. I mean, you still.
No, I'm kidding. Yeah, we're good. We're good to go on that. I actually really like kind of on a tangent that new qualification is actually really awesome. I've gotten to do it a couple times now.
Yeah, it's fun. I'll be honest with you, just the same thing with the ACFT. You know, I think if the ACFT was rolled out properly, or at least had some updates, there wouldn't have been so much skepticism. I mean, for us in the special operations community, that to us it was just like, oh, you're just adding more PT events. Cool. That's normally what, you know, okay, we're gonna go ahead and do that. And then somebody who only does the three drills, you know, push-up, sit-ups, 2 mile run, and then and then their leader goes, you better run fast or you're not gonna get promoted. And then that's it. There was no like physical fitness program. I think a lot of that, personally for me, is just like, it was frustrating. It was frustrating to get that out, because then people were like saying, come on, Ken, you know somebody over at Army Times or military.com or whatever, what are they saying about the ACFT? And we're like, the same shit that they're saying. We're seeing the same shit. It's the same stuff. Which is going to bring us to this topic right now. The release of the Parental Leave Guidance. That right there was released. It was like June 4th or January 4th. It was released through the DoD. January 4th through the DoD. And I was just telling the audience that I've worked in a joint position before, and we've always seen like the bootleg. We've always seen like the draft copy. We've always seen this is what's going to look like, and this is what's going to come out. And then all the planners and the staff guys and PAOs and comms people go run over and grab their piece out of it, and then add their stuff. And the next thing you know, it's all ready to go. So that way, when the DODI or whatever comes out, bam, it's ready to go. It's there's no delay. The Space Force and the Air Force were the first ones to have it.
Yeah.
Then the Navy and Marines were like, yeah, okay, we got it. And we're like in last place. So I don't want to beat up the Army too bad, that I think it's better than all the other forces out there. Their policies, our policy is a little bit, I feel it's better. That's just
this is the kid that turned his essay in like 4 weeks late, but it was a damn good essay. That's kind of where we're at here.
Exactly.
Professor's like, listen, I'm going to give you a 70% just by default. I'll accept the assignment, but you're going to get a D. I don't care how good it is. And the professor reads it and goes, God damn, this is a good essay.
Exactly.
I can't, you know, because what happened was, so I assume you went into the NDA and all that stuff, or is that too nerdy?
We only went specifically by the Army's, what I covered earlier. So that way the audience didn't have to worry about the staff nuances. And you can answer that question right now about the nerdy. Yeah, go nerdy, man. Go nerdy.
Yeah, so we'll go nerdy. So, you know, the thing that funds the Pentagon, the NDAA that Congress has to sign every year. That was, that's to get done every year. They signed it in December 2021 for the 2022 budget. And within that, it said, Congress said, hey, give service members 12 weeks of parental leave, right? You have a year to do it. You have until January 1st, right? January 1st comes by, it's not out. And, you know, myself and presumably other reporters across the news business, you know, emailed the Pentagon and said, where the hell is this parental leave policy? And they were like, oh shit, you know, I think they forgot, honestly. Yeah, I think they didn't read the syllabus here. So they scrambled together a policy and put it out on January 4th. And then, like you said, the Air and Space Force had theirs out the 5th. The Navy came out 2 weeks later with basically the same thing. And then the Army comes out, you know, a couple weeks later. And the big difference is what the other services did said they gave the commanders very vague authority to deny the parental leave. Right? Decentralized command's great, right?
Yep.
It's great till it's not great, right?
Exactly.
And so when I was talking to, Army folks that was working on this, and when I'm like, where the hell is this policy? Because basically what I told him is I'm going to write a story every 72 hours. This thing isn't out unless I have a good reason. Like, this isn't out yet, right? And he said, all right, cool. So they brought me in. I said, here's actually what's going on, right? We don't trust commanders to handle this thing right? And it's not just, I think it goes beyond commanders doing the right thing. It also, because you also got to think about men getting parental leave too. And I think to some people that sounds weird. Like, why should men get parental leave? It doesn't sound weird to people in the civilian sector, but I think to some that was a concern. Like, you didn't give birth, why do you need parental leave? It's like, well, I need to take care of my fucking wife and my kid, and there's like stuff going on, right? And I think commanders don't think about that. And then also what commanders don't think about is they think everything's an emergency. They're like, oh shit, we have gunnery. You can't go parental leave.
Or NTC or JRTC.
Or NTC. Yeah. Like, God, and you're an E6? You can't, how are we going to go to NTC with one less squad leader, right? They can't, they don't understand. Or, oh, we're qualifying. Or, oh, we got you slotted for a school. They over prioritize training, and they don't understand the people part yet, or at least Big Army didn't trust them to respect the people part of the Army. The big picture is, yeah, you can make Sergeant Smith go to NTC, but guess he's not re-enlisting, right?
Yeah.
And then you have a stronger Army because you have a stronger Army keeping Sergeant Smith, because you gave him some weeks off for parental leave that he's entitled to.
I repeat,
or you have a stronger Army because you had one more E6 in NTC that got to press buttons on a Blue Force tracker for a couple of weeks.
I repeated the lines. The first general officer in the chain of command that's
big.
And to break it down, told the audience, hey, that means if you're in 1st Brigade, 1st Cav, that means it's your division commander. If you're a brigade separate, that means it's your 3-star. It's not the DCO, it's not the XO, it's not the CSM. It literally is freaking the GO, the one in charge.
And that's for the secondary. And in most cases with straight couples, that would be the father. For the actual birth parent, which, the mother in most cases, there's nothing in there that says they can be denied. So the actual birth parent is entitled to it.
Mm-hmm.
And the father or the second parent, you have to go through so many hoops to keep them on your damn NTC rotation or whatever you think so right. important.
Right.
And that's why the Army was late on it. There was a lot of lobbying behind the scenes because there was some brass that weren't happy with that. And basically, I'm oversimplifying a little bit, but the Army secretary had to kind of tell some people some things about how it's going to work.
We figured. We figured. Everyone, as soon as we came up, there's like, I could imagine, would love to have been a fly on the wall for the staffing and going back and forth, on the staffing, IPRs, just to see who was who opposed it the most, or who was the one that was providing the most flag. Because I'm gonna say right now, it's a damn good fucking policy. It is a damn good policy.
Yeah. And I want the name of the first commander that tries to get in the way.
We will, as a matter of fact, we will make that a deal right now. I'll probably get
someone's
busted.
Gonna do it.
I'll probably get in trouble for making promises. But I'm going to tell you right, if somebody does, you'll know. You'll know. It is Haley just this woman named Haley Brisky just said Steve Beynon, never heard of him. She's in the comments. I don't know who this. Who is this Haley person? Go ahead and say hi. She's watching. Why are you turning red, dude? So, yes, you'll get it. It's almost like, and I've already seen other comments, and I've already seen other individuals saying, there was one on social media saying that, hey, your reputation is going to look bad, or it's not going to look good on you if you take this. You're thinking like, fucking what?
Like what do you mean your rep? Like who are these people? So, and this might be the guard guy talking here, but the Army can't run like a civilian organization. I get that, gotcha. Right? It's just different than working at Microsoft. But I think that should be a good North Star for any time a leader's making a decision or a policy or anything. Be like, would this be acceptable at Microsoft or Google or something? That's not going to be true with everything. No, you can't wake up your Google employees at 3 a.m. because the range goes hot at 8.
Right.
You can't, but that should be your very broad orientation. And I think if commanders do that, the Army will be marginally better.
I don't even think we were allowed to take naps, even though doctrine says we could take naps.
Yeah. Naps are doctrine.
Naps are doctrine. And so
you hold that holistic health and fitness.
Yep. H2F. Exactly. I do.
When Sarge has a problem, be like, excuse me.
I'm racking out. That's what I tell soldiers in the inbox. They're like, I got busted for napping in the parking lot during lunch. Whose business it is if you're napping in your car during lunch? You know what I mean? I've done it a couple times.
Cares if you're eating a burrito or napping? Like,
exactly.
Just don't go drink Jack Daniels. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah, exactly.
You want your soldiers rested for the war? Like,
see, that's another thing too. If we were full heavy on the GWAT before we knew all the other bullshit at the end of it,
I also like GWAT. I don't think I've ever heard someone say that.
What?
GWAT.
Like the GWAT?
Like for GWAT, Global War on Terror.
Yeah.
GWAT. Yeah. I like that.
Yeah, GWAT.
Yeah.
It sounds like a fruit. Yeah. You want some GWAT? Yeah. Is it like guacamole? No. It's GWAT. It's GWAT.
I don't want any GWAT. I'm full. I don't want...
Not enough GWAT. It's kind of full. But the thing is that it almost seems at this point we're not heavy into a rotation to Afghanistan and Iraq. We're not prepping for the invasion, which, by the way, 20 years anniversary is coming up. We're not for our OIF. Oh, yeah. We're not posturing ourselves for things that would matter. So why is it that the majority of that I don't know, man. It's that leader rhetoric that's coming out saying, well, I need them for JRTC, and you've seen the screenshots that we post on the main page.
Yeah.
With all that's not happening, I can't believe we seem to be micromanaging our troops even more.
Well, I think this is a great time for the Army. We're in a pseudo peacetime, right? So you would think you go back to peak GWAT, right? And I told you, like, even being a guard guy, like I was going to a school like every couple weeks, right? But now, we're in a pseudo peacetime, and now is the time to write that parental leave policy, write that ponytail policy, and and what I think senior leaders are doing. It's a problem when you get kind of further down the chain of command. Is improve the quality of life. Like, this is the time to do quality of life stuff for soldiers.
Exactly. Right? This would be the time that you literally will take that knee. This is the perfect time to take that knee. Go to school, approve all these parental leave stuff, go on fellowships, go on, allowing soldiers to go. Is there something that we're not seeing that leaders are like exactly that? Somebody just said a reconstitution phase. Are we not seeing something that the Army's kind of like hiding or something like that? Is there something else coming up that we don't know about?
No, I think you have young commanders in a lot of cases that are young and just don't know what's going on. And then you got GWAT era senior non-commissioned officers that still think it's 2009.
Right.
I kind of think it boils down to that, and they don't know a different Army. So when you got these up and comers like the current day E4, E5, that's more hopefully calmer, respects this kind of stuff, respects personal time, understands these things. One day they'll be the CSM, and hopefully, like I said, it's a marathon to make the Army a better place for the junior enlisted. But we're always going to see a commander or a first sergeant fuck things up. But what I see, we're at least on the path right now.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. Okay. I can see that.
On an optimistic note.
Well, I'm an optimist sometimes as well. And then I get that first screenshot of somebody not allowing beanies in sub freezing.
Well, I wrote a story like months after the ponytail policy came out that women were still just getting harassed about it, and just people were just like, I talked to a captain where like a CSM was dressing her down, be like, "What is that?" And she's like, "Braids."
Mm-hmm. Yep.
What the hell? What the hell?
Hey, God damn it, Bobby! What's going on here? What is that on top of your head, ma'am?
And then she sends them the reg, and he's like, "Nah."
Yeah.
And I'm like, what are what and so this is actually maybe the reverse is true, right? Maybe peacetime isn't the time to do this stuff. Maybe maybe leaders are bored. Maybe we need a war so they stop harassing people over braids and principles.
See, it's a balance to me. The way I see it, it's a balance. It's like I was in, I was in forever. So I was in pre-GWAT and then during GWAT and then when we started, winding down. Mm-hmm. So I kind of seen the wave, and I'm just thinking about all this hurry up and wait shit that we didn't have in the GWAT because we were out GWATing, we were out doing stuff. And then we were out GWATing, why don't you go cop a GWAT? And then we're slowing down, and I'm thinking, okay, the small things that matter back when we were in a war posture will matter now. Now we can go ahead and do it. Now we can, but it seems like now we're choking our soldiers. The soldiers are like coming out of their skin because their leaders, I feel like, are just pressing down on them.
Mm-hmm. Let me get your impression on this. So this also goes with like the mold issue and being like a big topic of concern amongst like senior leaders, like talking about it all the time and doing these inspections and everything. Do you think like we're in this era where people, I'm not saying they act on it, they at least pretend to care about what the junior soldier thinks?
I think only because you or your organization or my organization dimes them out.
Okay.
It's like steady state. It's not a big deal. Yeah, we know about mold. Mm-hmm. And the next, we say, hey, look at this mold. And they're like, yeah, whatever, WTF moments. Mm-hmm. And then you say, what about this mold? And then, the next thing you know, everyone's like, oh my God, this is a tragedy. We have mold in barracks. And you're like thinking, dude, did you not fucking pay attention to any of that, to any of the posting? Because going back to the choking shit, I should say the soldiers are feeling, are feeling choked. Yeah. I look at how the policy was released, and you did a story about this. Mm-hmm. The policy was released under CUI, unclassified CUI. And like I said before when we were getting set up, I got so much shit from my soft brethren. You should be posting that. That's CUI. That's CUI. I said, is it classified? No, it's CUI. Stop right there. Is it classified? No, CUI. It's CUI. Okay, if you say no, it's CUI.
I'm already upset.
Yeah, exactly. So we posted it. I didn't give a shit. We posted it. So why was the policy released on CUI that required CAC enable access, PKI encrypted, through a CAC card, or CAC, I should say, not CAC card, but, and
I call it a CAC card.
I just slipped. I slipped.
CAC card.
CAC card. I slipped
yeah.
up. What? Any reason why it was posted? The policy was posted in CUI?
Yeah, the Army's dumb. I don't know. I really wish I had a good answer. I looked through the regs. I was like clawing through publishing regulations. I was like, there has to be a reason, and I couldn't find a reason. And here's why it's a problem. So problem number one is behind a CAC wall, which going back to like the Guard and Reserve perspective, a lot of Guard and Reservists, like they don't have CAC readers. I'm not saying it's the right answer. They just don't. Right. Correct. So that's already a problem. It's a problem with also informing soldiers from people are going to read about the parental policy through my story, through the story on Military Times or Task and they read it through the press, right? And so I can't put a link to something that's behind a CAC wall in a story because like technically like me and my editor, we can't verify that's where the link goes. It's just, I'm not linking to something I can't know for sure that's where it goes, right? So I get an email every 10 minutes saying like, hey, do you have the actual policy? Right? So you're wasting soldiers' time, you're wasting my time. So that's problem number two. And then the third problem is it's not really the CUI of the parental leave policy itself to give, extend the Army an olive branch, an Army source, leaked me the parental leave policy, gave it to me ahead of when it was going to go out so I can write a nice story about it. So this isn't really about the parental leave policy itself. This is about an overclassification process with the Army. And what that does is that fucks over the whole oversight process, whether it's journalists or congressional staff, right? Because they need documents that aren't parental leave, that they actually need to look through. And there's all these classification things, a lot of it being CUI that just slows down turnover of documents because the PAO might not know that they should be able to give them to a reporter or a congressional staffer, or it goes through like more layers of requesting it. And so this is a bigger issue of oversight of the military being more complicated because they hide everything. And if everything's classified, is anything classified, if that makes sense?
Right. It's almost like I remember the Southwest border missions with R North and Northcom. They all unclassified briefings that were available to everybody that we saw on the news, and then they were all in class. They were from DHS and all that. And the next thing you know, leadership said, "Nah, we're putting them all under SIPR, so that way we will stop the leaks." And I'm thinking, okay.
That also just doesn't stop leaks, because it, like, the person that would leak it would have access to it anyway, and they can still give it to me.
Right. So
you know what I mean?
with this right here, then, would, like, how we posted the message, what was your editor's standards to you posting that message? Was it, hey, don't post it, but we'll tell you about it, and here it is. Would you get in trouble if you guys posted the Alarac the way we posted it?
Oh, us, military.com?
Yeah.
Oh, no, we don't give a shit.
Okay.
We'll, yeah, no. I don't. No,
Okay.
I'll put anything.
Okay. I was just asking. I'm just asking because I know that, you know, bridges get burned when no one won't talk to those guys anymore, because they it goes back to that question about are we a nuisance or not? You know what I mean?
Yeah. No. It's this is a bit, like I said, this is a bigger issue of people not knowing what CUI actually means. And I actually looked when the DoD initially put out guidance on what CUI is, and it was actually really vague of like when you're supposed to do it. Like, I was reading, I was like, I don't even understand what this means. It's just not super clear. And so I think what the Army does is they just like blanket classify everything. Like something else I mentioned in that story, they classified new guidance that came out on the nameplate on the service uniform.
Right.
And I'm just like, if that's what loses the war to China, then I guess we weren't meant to win. Like, I don't know. I can't help you at this point.
Speaking of which, what's the status of the balloon?
Where's that? Yeah. Is there a live cam? Is some news agency?
I know. As we're talking and stuff like that, people have been sending me links. Look at the balloon. Look at the balloon. So I got one picture here. As a matter of fact, I could screen cap share with you too.
Oh, that'd be great.
Yeah. So we let's see. Let me see if I can.
I haven't seen what the balloon looks like yet.
Oh, you haven't? Oh, well, here.
No. Like this broke after 5 o'clock, and
okay.
Like
I
said,
this here's what they're already tracking their reverse trajectory from.
Okay.
And then let me.
They can track the trajectory of a balloon, but they can't make a parental leave policy accessible.
Yeah, exactly that. Let me get into the screen and show you what it looks like. Yeah, you did. Oh man, Are we talking? Yeah. Hang on. Let me pull this one up where we got. I posted it earlier, making fun of the fact that we got a balloon that we can't like, we're not doing anything about it. Like,
yeah, I read like a graph from the Times that says they weren't going to shoot it down because they're afraid of hurting people on the ground.
Right. And if here it is. Here's one shot. It's got an array on there. You know, it's got all the little.
Some hillbilly's going to get that and not give it to the government.
Exactly. Don't let Bubba do it. Bubba will do that. I mean, don't leave a parachute in a Fort Bragg drop zone, because that's what happens.
Flies over Maryland, I'll grab it.
See, that's the thing. I don't think it'll fly. I don't think it'll fly to Maryland. I think they'll intercept.
Yeah, I'm pretty far from Montana. So.
Yeah. It'll. I think personally, if it gets too close to anybody, because right now I was like, oh shit. My biggest thing is that we've been looking at this thing for over 4 days or 3-4 days. I'm like, wait a minute, you've been looking at this thing for a few days where you're not going to tell anybody. This feels like that movie, Don't Look Up. That one. You know how the press is handling it. So far, that's the only status that I got was that trajectory thing. So. So it being CUI being a problem, do you see it as? I mean, now put your military hat on. What do you think? Put your Cav hat on.
Where's my
Stetson? Yeah, I was about to say. Yeah. How do you feel? How do you feel how it's overclassified? I mean, what's your military take on that?
I haven't seen anything in my military career or journalism career that was marked CUI that I don't understand what the damage to what damage or threat that would be.
Gotcha.
Because like I said, a lot of these are memos, and from the Army perspective, I guess the only caveat is, I think for most units, the like a guard unit's drill schedule is CUI, which
I get that.
Fair,
get that.
Right? That's fair.
That's fair.
And then drafts of stuff, that's fair. So like I got the draft parental leave policy, that was CUI. Like I get that because that is the way I'm working. Like, hey, this like technically isn't signed yet. Don't give it to Steve. Right? They gave it to Steve, but that's fine. I'll take anything. but like I understand that. And when I think, I don't know who is the person that actually takes it and puts it on Army Pubs, which is the site that hosts a lot of this stuff. But my guess is, I've been talking to people for like 2 days about this. I've been trying to like find the person. That's been my like mission. I don't want the office. I don't want the command. I want the person,
right?
Like the individual, like who did this, right? I can't find them. If anyone here knows who they are, let me know. And I think that my guess is they just saw the CUI on the draft and just went with that. That's what I'm guessing.
Yeah.
It followed it from draft to final. Like that is what I think keeps happening, because I think if you sit someone down on like parental leave or like the nameplate policy, I'm like, does this really need to be like from the public?
Who's the little old lady in white tennis shoes that has been that's inputting this stuff? You know what I mean? Who's the one that said, okay,
that's who I want to find?
Yeah, exactly.
I want to find this person.
You want to find
because I got with the Army Secretary's office and I was like, hey, like I actually want to link the policy from my story, because like I can't write every single caveat in the policy in a news story, right? And like, so there's stuff in there soldiers need to know that just doesn't make it into a news story. And they're like, yeah, cool, here you go. And they send me like the Army Pubs link and says, but is there anything not behind a cap wall? And they're like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, it's CUI. And they're like, it is?
Oh.
I'm like, can you fix that? Oh. And then just like radio silence, right?
Because then it becomes a process to un-CUI it, correct? To make
I bet that's a whole process.
Yeah, I think
right?
some security manager, some physical security guy or some some paper.
Someone has to sign off on something.
Exactly, it's got to get routed through. Because that you replaced FOUO. I got pubs in my garage that say FOUO, like old, infantry stuff and old caps.
So you got classified documents.
Sure, why not? I haven't opened
this gets into that, right?
I haven't opened my tough boxes in a while, but yeah, go ahead. You can go with that.
This gets into the stuff with like Pence and Biden. Trump's a different story because they asked for stuff and he just said, no, I'm keeping it.
Yeah.
But like with some other folks, because they're like, oh, like Biden or Pence or whatever has like classified documents. I'm like, yeah, that sounds sexy, but I want to know like what they were. I want to know what all of them were. I want to know what they had. Was this the first draft of the parental leave policy, or was this like, like if we have to assassinate Xi Jinping, here's how we do it.
Exactly.
Like on what, like we're on the barometer.
We're not looking at that shit. We want to know what's the deal with this parental leave policy and who had it, who submitted it, and who was stopping it.
Yeah, they're like, he has 16 classified documents. It's like, yeah, but what are they, right?
Yeah, you're right. Was it somebody's leave form? Because I've seen stuff processed unclass in my previous assignments that I'm like, why is this even on? Why is this not even? See, now I can't even print this out. I can't print this out and take it out of a skiff, or I can't print this out and like it's a zipper. I got to shred it because, whatever. So
I bet the itinerary of Air Force One, the part that says like what the lunch is on the plane, is technically classified.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, or yeah, exactly. Or walks the dog at this time. Well, I could see that, because the Secret Service.
There's a lot of goofy stuff. It's not like, obviously that's a step above CUI, but I bet classified, if you like really dug through everything that's marked classified, you'd find a lot of goofy stuff. And why this was why this was funny was the day the parental leave policy came out, marked CUI, was the day the Pentagon was supposed to release a report to Congress investigating its overuse of CUI, that they didn't do it. Like, remember how they were late on that parental leave policy? Yep. They're also late reporting to Congress of whether or not their CUI process.
Right. Yeah, well, yeah.
That's what made it funny.
I didn't realize that taking leave for babies was going to be such a hot topic for discussion. So with that, well, I mean, it's out. Well, now we just got to wait for that first person. First, you got to find out who posted it, and now
someone's going to screw it up.
And then, find out that the second person who's someone's going to screw it up. And again, this will be a joint military.com/WTF moments venture. Once we will provide names, units, what happened, babies' names and stuff like that. We will make sure we redact the baby's
name
eyes.
Is really important.
Yeah, we got to redact the baby's eyes to make sure that So what do you got working on? I mean, real quick, aside from stuff like that, what do you got on your burners right now?
Yeah, so we got a couple things. We got a series of projects coming out on extremism and whether or not that is an issue in the ranks, and how these radical organizations target veterans into these groups, the kind of groups you saw on January 6th and other events like Charlottesville. And then you got more fun stuff. You got February is going to be really big on height and weight. Actually, the Army should come out with more details on the, or should solidify or come out with more details on the, hey, if you score 540 on the ACFT, you don't got to get taped.
That's right.
Right?
That's right.
And I'm like, listen, man, if you can run 13-minute 2 miles and deadlift 300 pounds and slam those Big Macs down, you earned it.
That's it. That's it.
I'm all aboard. And they're gonna put more stuff out there. I don't know what those other things are, but I looked into the kind of the scanners the Army was thinking about replacing the tape test with. You don't want the scanners, you want the tape test. I don't care how big you are, you want the tape test. I saw a bunch of soldiers go through that machine. I went through the machine myself and got tape tested. It finds everyone 5 to 15% faster.
So you're saying
you want the tape test.
Are you saying that AI has an unexpected, has unrealistic expectations of what we should look like? Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying for people that complain about the tape test, you're right. It is inaccurate, but it's inaccurate in your favor. Hold on to that tape test.
Yeah, exactly.
But it just you in a 3D body scanner.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. The next day you have the robot looking at you going, "You are fat."
I saw a lot of hurt feelings. I went to Fort Lee and saw the whole demo. There was a soldier that looked pretty fit, and he said, the thing said I'm fat as hell. And I was just like, oh. And then I did it.
Oh, man, that's awesome.
I was like, oh, no. So I don't know if the Army's going to do that because they're going to need to kick out like an eighth of the Army and probably half of the National Guard. So I don't know if it's going to work.
I'd say 3/4, but okay.
That's going to be big. The Army just wrapped up inspecting all of its facilities for mold after our story came out on the Fort Stewart thing. They kind of kicked that off. We should get information on those findings at the end, also at the end of February.
Awesome.
So February is going to be big for mold, quality of life issues, and height and weight, and that first senior leaders press conference. And I always ask people if they have questions for the SMA or the Army secretary or whatever, let me know. You know, like journalism is always a group effort, and I can't think of everything. So there's always stuff I'm missing, and I rely on people to point those things out to me.
Awesome. Do you, where can we find you? Where's your, what are your socials? And we got you on Twitter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So military.com is where all my stuff goes, and it's just not my stuff. We got probably some of the best coverage of all the other services like Space Force and the Air Force, which a great story we put out today was the Air Force actually spilled 700 gallons of diesel into a volcano. That's a fun story.
What?
Yeah, check that out. It's fun.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so you'll catch all my stuff on military.com. You can catch me on Twitter at Stephen Beynon, and that's about the extent of that. And I'll assume there's my Twitter right there.
Yeah,
there it is.
Yep. Yeah, I got it's got all the links that you want to look at. I got all your bylines, all your links, and all that. Yep. So
there you go. And then if you just Google Army, you'll probably find a story of mine eventually.
Steve
Which
Beynon.
I'm sure the Army's thrilled about.
Exactly. They're gonna be like, okay, great. He really is a nuisance. Steve, thanks so much for coming on short notice, man. This is awesome.
Anytime.
Again, feel free. You're more than welcome to come back on. Any updates specifically with that? Like I said, that brief you got and going on. Hopefully, it's successful. I got my fingers crossed on the tape stuff too. So
keep the tape.
Yeah,
keep the tape.
Keep the tape. Keep the faith. There you go. All right, guys.
Keep the tape. Keep the 22-minute run mile.
It's 5:40. So guys and gals, don't freak out. Again, 5:40, and you won't have to take a tape test. That to me is, man. If you could do a 5:40, eating a cheeseburger and smoking a cigarette and drinking a Coke across the finish line, please record that. We want to see that. So again, hey Steve, thanks again for hanging out.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
All right, we're going to go ahead and take a break right quick. Me and Steve are going to shoot the shit, and then we'll be right back. So everybody refill your glasses and shots.
So bad. Is this where you draw the line? 'Cause it's so sad. Tell me where you lost your faith. Is it so bad? Couldn't If you bleed, you won't feel it, and you won't see nothing at all. And you can fight, you can hide that you're naked. If you bleed, you won't feel it, you won't see me at all. You can fight, you can hide that you're naked. If you bleed, you won't feel it, you won't see me at all. You can fight, you can hide that you're naked.
WTF Nation Radio. WTF Nation Radio.
Sometimes when I look at, I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, I think it's WTF Army or something.
The voice of U.S. Army. WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio.
Welcome back. I don't know why I said it like that. Probably because of the Jamaican tunes. And we're back. Last half of Sergeant's Time. Thank you guys and gals so much for listening. Yeah, exactly, cause weed music. We, of course, this is Sergeant's Time. We cannot condone the use of cannabinoid or cannabis products, of course. Would be in violation. But thanks again, Steve, for hanging out with us. Appreciate it. That was an awesome thing. We're sitting there shooting the shit, talking about some stuff, and yeah, we just we could have gone longer, but you know, we got a schedule. So far, as an hour, let me see. It was the status of the balloon. Everyone's like doing polls. Should Biden shoot down the Chinese spy or the spy balloon? So, dude, I don't understand. Why is this a question? Why aren't we lighting that thing up? I think we just found our aerial drone target right there. Pew pew. Shoot that thing down. So, again, thanks Steve Beynon for coming on, and I'm looking forward to the height and weight thing. Is going to be awesome. 540 on your APFT, or ACFT, I should say. Can't wait. It's going to be so awesome. I can't wait to see the biggest. Hey, is that soldier fat? Hey, does that soldier make tape? I can't wait to see a troop like that smoking a cigarette with a Big Mac and just smokes that PT test, and the next thing you know, people are like, can't get tape, even though the guy's like, looking like Jabba. Real quick, let's see, transition centers now. Of course, everybody knew that we had an IPS-A issue to where DD-214s could not have been issued. So now breaking news from IPS-A is that now transition centers are now able to create and sign DD Form 214s and separation orders. Soldiers that experience that delay can contact their transition center for separation orders and a scheduled appointment to receive their DD-214s. Man, everyone's calling up it was the hide behind fucking, someone was saying it was a stop loss. Unreal, whatever. So yeah, we'll see. Sergeant Porkneck agrees to the terms. Exactly that. Sergeant Porkneck. I'm going to use that one, Heath. I'm going to use that one. Again, of course, if you're already on transition leave or separated but did not receive a DD-214, receive a copy in the mail. And in IPERMs, DD-214s for soldiers who are on transition leave or separated will state service member not available for signature. DD-214s marked this way instead of signed are completely valid. I don't know, man. I don't want to go and unfuck that shit. I don't want to go back and see if that's good before you sign it. That's why you sign the DD-214. It's like, yep, it looks good. I better start hand jamming them shits. Exactly. So with that, wait a minute, we got guest stuff going on. We got things. We got guests. We got we got shit. I mean, let me pull up the calendar here. See what we got. What we got going on here? Let's see. Let me go ahead and extract that information. First off, here's our show lineup. You can see definitely on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Right now we're on Thursday. It's Sergeant's Time. Of course, tomorrow is Friday Night Freedom with Kaz and Pookie. So many things. They have a guest tomorrow. Isn't that cool? Eric Christensen will be joining us on Friday Night Freedom with Kaz and Pookie to talk about his latest documentary, Unmasking Hope, released on public television on the 23rd of January. It's a journey about those who have survived trauma. Kaz and Pookie are going to chat with them. And then next week, oh my gosh, the balloon is way up there. Next week, man, if you guys don't know, this what's coming up on Sunday. It's the big game. The big game on Sunday that we can't say because as we get close to it, the NFL starts really getting pissed off when you start talking about. So if you say anything that has to do with, then the NFL could get the ass and say that you guys are using the for their own. It's the money thing. They want the money. They want us to pay millions of dollars for that. No, not wait. What? Not this Sunday. What? Wait. Super Bowl party. Wait. Wait. What's going on? Are you sure you got the right thing there, CQ? I thought you said that you guys are going to the Farpoint engagement. You're going on the 10th through the 12th. Isn't that where you're going? Yeah, foosball finale. Isn't that where I thought you were doing that? 10th through the 12th, we're going to be at Farpoint convention. And then we're also going to be, and I'll say it right now, I don't give a shit about the NFL right now. We're going to, WTF Nation Radio US Army, we're going to be the fucking Super Bowl, man. So you're going to be seeing some picks and stuff like that, Super Bowl stuff. On the 10th of February, we have Kyle and Jackie Stark. And the Super Bowl's on the 12th. So then why is the calendar not reflecting that? Look at the calendar. CQ, check out the calendar. We have Buck Wade, Stop Soldier Suicide coming on the Monday edition with me. And then, of course, we have John Lynch joining us on Pop Culture Warrior. We also have Ashley Gutermuth. If you've seen her comedy and also what she does for, what do they call that? Food dependency advocacy, I guess you would say. I think you'll first, her comedy is freaking hilarious, and second, what she does for the veteran community and the military community is pretty freaking cool. At any rate, we also have what else we got going on? Going on the 21st. Oh, that was Ashley, and then we have Mike Wingert on the 28th of February, and then we have Sean Kanan, Pop Culture Warrior. Another Pop Culture Warrior guest, Debbie Way West. Man, we got some Pop Culture Warriors got guests all the way out mid all the way up to April. However, we also have some other events that we will be invited to, and I can't wait. CQ, you're going to start seeing promos for it. All I know is that if you like motorcycles, this would be cool. There, can I say that? Was that too much, CQ? I don't want to I don't want to spend it. So, at any rate, let me pop my face in there. So right now, you're listening to us on a Sergeant's Time. Today's Sergeant's Time. Friday Night Freedom with Kaz and Pookie. Sunday is the Sports Bar with King Smith and the Coach. Monday edition, of course, with me and Shipwreck. Tuesday's Pop Culture Warrior and his rotating guests. And then Wednesday is the Smoke Pit with Radar and TZ. What I was saying about the rotating stuff, speaking of which, again, I reached out and I got contact from an organization to discuss about having an active duty service member, soldier, be my sidekick on Sergeant's Time to discuss sergeanting, stuff like that. I was allowed to say that much. We're in contact, seeing how that's going to work out. I think it's going to be a good thing to have somebody in the military, actively hanging out with us and all that for Sergeant's Time. Then CQ's doing his rotation of his guests. So pretty cool to see all of his guests lined up or his guests, I should say, his co-host, his guest co-host. Did I get that right? We're also going to have another guest co-host too that was a guest on Pop Culture Warrior, but he's going to be on guest co-hosting. So that's going to be pretty cool too. I can't wait for that. So I'm excited. So again, all good news around. God, man, I cannot speak. Okay, look, I've been stumbling with English today because I was speaking in Spanish most of the day, and for family and stuff like that. So I'm like really, I'm all with my English right now. So with that, I think that's all of us. I think that's all we all covered that. I think we all covered the guests. We all covered the shows right there. Again, I'm on Thursday right now with Sergeant's Time. You can see all around us, all the guest stuff. Again, I want to shout out to Steve Beynon, military.com, for hanging out with me and shooting the breeze on Sergeant. We could have gone longer, but I know he had time. He had some time constraints. And again, we're looking forward to naming and shaming the first person decides to fuck around and find out on the new parental leave policy. Again, I support it 100%. Last thing, real quick, before I punch out, someone just sent me a reminder about don't forget. There's been some back and forth about the vax and not being vaxxed, and you will get vaxxed and all this other stuff now that the vax is now lifting. There has been some back and forth with the reserve community on the standard of the reserves on how they do their stuff for their vax. So currently right now, let me go ahead and pull that graphic up right quick so we can all see it. This was sent to me, and this is for reserve personnel. We go to I just want to pull this thing up right here so that way y'all can see it. We all can see it. There you go. So, real quick, Undersecretary of the Army have approved exception of policy for USARC travel. The Undersecretary of the Army has approved all unvaccinated U.S. Army Reserve soldiers to conduct official travel for training. U.S. Army Reserve currently has more than 6,000 soldiers who require an exemption to policy for travel in order to conduct training. Attached, what you see, there's a link. Let's see if I can pull up a link right here. Yeah, there's a link on the bottom. There you go. Attached to the link at the bottom for approval. Don't reserve personnel follow big Army rules. They did not when it came to this. There was some back and forth about vaccination for training for the reservists. So now that's out. There you go. The Army Reserve currently has more than 6,000 soldiers who require an exemption to policy for travel in order to conduct training. And of course, that link that you see right there on the Mill Suite side, then the attached to the following link where it provides approval for all unvaccinated to conduct travel for training. There you go. So that was one thing that I wanted to have somebody sent me out to remind, and I appreciate that reminder. I wasn't going to forget you. But thanks for reminding me. Even though I was going to forget you. Let's see what's the status of the balloon. Let's see everyone real quick. I'm going to do one more. I'm going to do one more dig at the Chinese spy balloon. Let's see. So currently right now, the military's tracking it, right? Okay, let me look more. So, yeah, it is. Okay, if you go to flight radar, you can see the balloon. It's just flying around. Is it for real? Okay, no. Is that for real? Is it really? That's not the spy balloon. That's a different balloon. Okay, all right. So are we placing bets on how far it gets? I think we should. I think right now we're looking like a bunch of punks just letting a foreign aircraft, not one of our adversaries, just float around our fucking country airspace and nobody's saying anything about it. Tinfoil hat, go for it. What's your tinfoil hat there? Let me see. I got the first one right there. They are letting it stay up so that way there's more intel they can get from its signal that it's giving off. Plausible. Okay. If it were real, it would not be transmitting ADSB data. Do we know that? Let's see. Currently, we have pundits right now. Let's see. We got the statement from the who is this? Who's this guy? The governor of the state of Montana. Here's his statement that he's dropped on this national security. I think it is national security story. So there we go. Greg Giamonte. Sorry, my unidentified floating object. I received an informational briefing yesterday on the situation involved. Since yesterday, man. This broke, by the way, right before we went on air, about an hour before we went on air. This is what he said. He's got this briefing yesterday on the situation involving a Chinese spy balloon flying over Montana. From the spy balloon to the Chinese Communist Party spying on Americans through TikTok and CCP-linked companies buying American farmland, I am deeply troubled at the constant stream of alarming developments for our national security. Damn, dude. If it bleeds, we can kill it. Brevard County mugshots. China just wants to see the filming of the sequel. Brokeback Mountain. Bacon area. Yeah, we're closing up, man. We're closing the story, man. We're closing the thing. I just wanted to give everybody a last. I already did my housekeeping. I already did all that stuff. I'm just doing one final note on the angry balloon. Let's see, is it the old man from Up? No, it's not. I don't think it is. Oh man, let's see. We have some questions here from our congressional leaders saying why won't Biden shoot down the Chinese spy balloon that's currently flying over the U.S. Another one is some of the other comments in here. Some Fox News people said Trudeau is probably worried about the truckers. Why didn't Canada alert the U.S. about the Chinese spy balloon? There we go. For days. It's been sitting there for days. The U.S. State Department breaking while we were on air summons Chinese diplomat to deliver a very clear and stark message after spy balloon detected over U.S. Happening now. 3 U.S. Air Force planes circling over northern Montana, where the Pentagon has found a massive Chinese spy balloon. I don't fucking like. Why aren't we doing? Why are we doing shit? There we go. No call signs. We're just flying them out there. There's 3 fucking planes, just Air Force planes, just circling. They're probably like you said, earlier in the comments. They're probably taking pictures or getting. It's a cloaking device, and the Borg are finally here. We are the Borg. Lower your shields and surrender your ships. It looks like somebody said, yeah, are they drawing penises? Looks like they're having a penis drawing contest in the sky. Resistance is futile. Just tie some 550 between some aircraft and take it down for inspection. Telling you, man. It's in Montana. Tell everybody in Montana, hey, everybody needs to evacuate this area while we shoot this fucker down. That's it. A couple of gun runs. That's it. We're done. Oops, I don't have my mail there and shit. Oh, damn. What am I doing? 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 There we go. Don't destroy it, capture it. Yeah, we'll see. I'm just going through all my tabs here, all my notes. But anywho, I think that's it. Thank you guys and gals for listening in, providing your comment. Thanks again to military.com for allowing Steve to come on here and shoot the shit. I think with that, I think we shots. You guys have a good night. Enjoy the rest of your night. Keep an eye out in the sky. If anybody comes, we'll provide a bounty. We'll give you a WTF Nation Radio T-shirt if you send us pictures of the if you have the balloon in your possession, if you get it. I shouldn't say that. Probably people try to fucking get it. But at any rate, thanks guys, gals for hanging out, and y'all have a good night. Shots. See you.
Hey, this is SEAC retired John Wayne Troxel. You're listening to WTF Nation Radio, the station of choice for all of the badass MFers on the planet.
The voice of U.S. Army, WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio. The voice of U.S. Army, WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio.
Everything stated on WTF Nation Radio is to be considered the opinion of the person that stated it, and not an official representation of WTF Nation Radio or U.S. Army WTF Moments.
Price does not include tax, title, or license. Some assembly required. Each item sold separately. Batteries not included. Objects in mirror are closer than they appear. If conditions persist, contact a physician. Individual results may vary. Keep out of the reach of children. Avoid prolonged exposure to direct sunlight. Keep in a cool, dark place. And
please enjoy the show. Shots.
Сьогодні ти знову написала, що тобі страшно. І я знову попрошу. Ні, сьогодні я накажу відставити боятись. Погладь за мене бармале і спокійно лягай спати. До речі, як там Руся в школі? Скажи тату берегти серце і обійняти маму. І взагалі, давайте усміхатися. Вашій силі краса. Допомагайте один одному і виручайте. Цілуйте любимих. Святкуйте свою свободу. Ви за нашими спинами, ось такі теж надійні, не ховаєтеся, прикриваєте нас із тилу. Зробіть так, щоб ми пишалися вами. І ми повернемось. Повернемось і будемо жити.